Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can configure the roles and the groups in Azure Active Directory, which is also called Intra ID. We're going to do that step by step, and we are going to see how Azure AD authentication works with the roles and the groups. So this video will be very useful and interesting, especially if you're working in an IT industry with your project having the Azure AD as IDP. This is very good to know, and if you're an Azure developer or anything related to Azure, this is the wonderful thing that you should know. So without delay, come let's get started. So friends, before we dive in, this is the GitHub link where you will find every single project that I'm demonstrating. So feel free to go through and browse whichever project you like. For this specific video, I will post the exact link of the repository in the video description itself. If you would like to follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and GitHub, these are the links that you can click and follow me. I will be more than happy to collaborate with you, so don't forget to follow me. Now let's dive into the video. First of all, if you're new to this Azure AD, I suggest go to my channel and look for Azure AD in the search. You will see two videos as of this recording. The very first one will show you .NET Core 8 Web API with Angular 18 application, how we will set up the Azure AD authentication in Azure portal. Okay, the source code of this application is there in GitHub, which I will show you in a moment. Now, followed by, if you're interested with SSO, which is single sign-on for Azure AD, watch this video. This video is basically two identical set of a same application with little bit difference in the response. We are again using Web API 8. Again, we're using .NET Core 8 Web API and Angular 18. So two set of application to prove you how SSO works. Like you sign in on one application, the second one will automatically recognize that you have logged in, right? So that's a wonderful thing. Now, all of these source codes are present, and today what we are going to do is we are going to take one of this application, all right, and then I will show you how you can configure the roles and groups over there. So if you have not done this setup, you have to do this before you proceed with roles and groups. If not, you will not be able to finish it. So please go ahead and watch this first before you touch on roles and groups. Now let's jump onto the code, right? So this is the GitHub repository. This is my GitHub account. If you go to repositories for Azure AD related things, it is here, Azure AD SSO.NET Core and Angular authentication. All right. So for Azure AD, if you download the whole set of this code, you see this API and just web. There is one set, UI and API. Wherever I mention app 2, that's another set of application. Okay. Detailed documents are here, how you should start everything. Remember, based on which package you're based on which set of application you're opening, you need to run that accordingly. For example, if you're opening this 2, just a second application, you need to run this on 4300. If you're opening on the first one, then the UI should run on 4200. Okay, so remember that. Now, having said this, we are straight away jumping onto the roles and group stuff. What is the prerequisite for this, right? You should have a Azure account. It's just a free tier account. That's more than enough. After that, you will be setting up to application registration, which you will see in the previous video. I told you how to take a look at the video. I will also give you in the description. Okay, so let's do this. What I'm going to do is I will go to this repository and download the code. You can either clone it or do a download. Okay, so you can download like this or you can clone it. I suggest you clone it and pull up the latest code from the main branch. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this app2. Okay, so when I open app2, it is like this, and if you see, so when I go to app2, you can see it is on 403051 40351 port it is running, and then the Angular application is running on 4300. So you can see the API is running on this port, UI is running on 4300. So we know the application is running. I am not doing anything with the application, it's just the downloaded code. All the configuration is in the Azure portal. Now log into Azure portal, and I'm going to quickly recap how that Azure AD is working. Come to the search box and type for Azure Active Directory. Once you search like this, it will show you Azure Active Directory as the keywords and Microsoft Intro ID. Like I said, Microsoft Intro ID is the new name. I cannot say even new name, it's been more than a year. So remember, Microsoft Intro ID is nothing but Azure Active Directory. Once you land on this Azure Active Directory, you can see the users, group, all of these things, right? So Azure AD video will show you how we did the app registration. So you have to go to app registration and follow the video. But I'm going to recap. I am having an app registration for API, which is here the one I'm highlighting, app 2, and UI app registration, right? So we are going to deal with only the API app registration, because for roles and groups we just need this. So I'm going to open this. If you have not done this app registration for your application, follow the previous video of Azure AD authentication and set up this app registration. Now let's go to this. Okay, here what we are going to do is we have to set up roles and group. Because we are using free tier, okay, there are certain limitations. As we proceed, I will tell you what are the limitations. Now, from Microsoft Intro perspective, okay, there are only 3 types of tiers that we have. One is the free tier, which developers like us we have. They are automatically, the moment you register with Azure and login, you are on Microsoft Intro free tier. Remember that. There are 2 more tiers called Premium 1 and Premium 2, P1, P2. They are costly tiers and they are meant only for the organization. Okay, because whichever organization is signing up, there's a big contract between the organization and the Microsoft for the payments and like how long they can be there. Like it's a contract. So we don't deal with that. Like we are individual users, we don't need to. But you should know how to do it, because if you're working in an IT industry and if you are going to do these kind of setup for your project, most of the stuff I will cover, and when you do it in your organization, it will be easy for you to finish the rest of the work. Great. Now, like I said, we are on free tier. So we went to the app registration of the first one. After that, if you come all the way to the manage, down something called manifest. Manifest is the application's detail, like whatever you registered, this is the application. So if you see manifest, if you see metadata, basically it'll have all of this information like app ID, so many stuff, right? You can see so many stuff. Okay, so the first thing is we have to go to this app registration for the API and go to the manage and go to manifest. Okay, so manifest will show you a lot of information about the app registration we have done. And if you scroll down slowly, there is something called app roles. There is no roles right now. We need to first assign some role, like enable some role in the application registration. Then only we can be able to assign these roles to the existing users. Now I'm going to copy paste 2 roles and then I'll explain you what are those 2 roles. So the first one starts from here to here, second one starts from here to here. It's just an array of roles. Basically, the roles will have information about the description, display name, it is enabled or not, origin, value, all of these things. So value is here the user role, and there is another role called admin role. Both are application level and it is currently enabled. Okay, so 2 roles I have added. Now look at this allowed member types. So allowed member types can be either users or something called application. Basically, the difference between these 2 is when you assign this role, depending on how you have configured here, you can assign it. For example, this role can be assigned to a user or an application also. But this role can be assigned only to the users. That's the difference. So I'm going to copy this, like I copy pasted it, save it. Don't worry about these content I will give you. So we saved it. Great. Now next is we go to the again we go back to the Azure Active Directory, and then there is something called enterprise application to this left side. You can either come like this or you can directly type enterprise application, which will actually take you here. So I'm going to click here and show you where it goes. See, enterprise application is nothing but all of the application that we registered. So we are talking about this app too, right? So again, when you go to enterprise application, you again go to this application 2, which is our web API backend one. So I clicked it, and you can also see a lot of things here going on, right? Now what you do, click on users and group. There is no users assigned, so I'm going to click on add users, and you see this is the limitation I was referring to. Groups are not available for assignment due to your Active Directory plan level, because I am using a basic free tier. Like I said, there are three types: free tier, P1, P2. P1, P2 meant for organization for heavy payment that they do, but for us it's free, but we don't allow to get the groups. What is groups? First of all, you can add people to group, and then you can assign some role to the group, so it's easy to manage. Removing a user from a group, adding it to a group is easy. We do not have that feature as a free tier, but actually if you're working in IT company, if you're doing the setup, you will definitely have to start with the group. That's how it is preferred. Okay, now let's go with what we have. It's okay. Let's take a user, select a user. I have these users are nothing but my organization user. I have told you in several videos, if you go to Azure portal and search for users, you can create your own users. You can invite users, you can create users. These users that are listed are those users. Okay, I have two users called Karthik at the rate learnsmartcodinggmail.onmicrosoft.com and Kannan at the rate learnsmartcodinggmail.microsoft.com. I'm going to choose this Karthik and say select, and then I'm going to choose a role. You see these two roles are coming. If you remember, we added two roles for a particular application in the manifest. That is why this is coming. So if it is not coming for you, you either didn't add it, or you added to something and you're coming and doing and assigning to in from some other application. So make sure, watch this video again. You need to select the right API backend app registration, add the roles in the manifest, come back to enterprise application, select exactly the same app. You will see this. Now Karthik is an admin. I'm going to say admin, select, assign. I've been assigned with, there was a user who's called Karthik is assigned with the admin role. Good. So this is done. Okay, so now let's go back to our same Azure AD, which is Active Directory, which I clicked wrong. Active Directory. So I'm going to go to the app registration. Now this is also important, just pay attention. Go to the same app, the second one, right? For me it's second one, so whatever application you choose. Now all right, so we added. Now let's see if the role is coming. Okay, so this is the login credentials. You may or may not be able to use this depending on when you're watching this video. Actually, if you want any credentials to test it out from my side, like the application that I'm using, do ping me in the comment section. I will give you a new credentials for you so that you can use it and test it, or just configure everything from your side. So this is the password. I'm going to run this application. I'm going to log in. You see this Karthik at learnsmartcodinggmail.onmicrosoft.com. This is the user to which we assigned the role called admin. I'm going to click it, provide the password. It's successfully logged in. I'm going to go to the developer tool, take the access token, come here, go to jwt.ms. I'm going to copy paste this, and if I scroll down, you see admin is coming. Okay, let's see, we haven't assigned anything to another user, so I'm going to log off, log in back with a different user, and show you the roles will not come because there is no role assigned to another person called Kannan. So password is same. I'm going to copy paste this, ask later. Okay, we got it. I'm going to take this token, go all the way through here. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to take this token, copy, go here, come all the way through here, delete, paste it. There is no role because for that user we never assigned a role. So let's do this quickly. This is good to watch again. So I'm going to go to the enterprise application, choose the application that we are dealing with, which is this one. Go to users and groups, add user, select the user this time as Kannan. Okay, so I added this user. This time we will choose user, assign. Good, assigned. Now let's do this demo one more time. We have to log out and log in, only then it will work. So log off, log in, same one, Kannan. We should see so this time we should see roles as users, which we are going to take a look now. So take this guy, take here, copy, go here, paste it. See, roles is coming as users. So now we know how to get the roles for Azure AD, right? Now, if you ask me, or if you ever thought of, hey Karthik, whatever you did is all manual, you need to add the roles in the manifest, you need to go and assign the roles to the users, they're all manual. Yes, unfortunately this is manual work, and this is how it is controlled actually in the real application. But think of this, if this has been applied in a company, then what happens? Actually, the users will be put into a group, and group will be assigned. So automatically this one of the manual work which we are assigning the roles to each users will be offloaded, because they are part of a particular group. Automatically assignments of user to a particular group can be automated. So it's possible, it's just that because of our free time we have to do this, but putting the roles into the manifest is something that we have to do. Okay, that's how it works. Now this is done. So what about the group? Okay, let's take a look at the group next. Fine, so next is group. Now group also has limitation. I already discussed with you, you cannot have a real group in Azure AD. Instead you have something called security group. You can create security group and assign the users to the group. So let's go back to Azure Active Directory, and there's something called group here. You go to group and click on new group. Okay, see here only two options are coming for us, security group and Microsoft 365 group. So we'll choose security group, and then let's give a group name. Let's say admin group. So I added a security group type called security. The group type has security, group name, group description. You can either add the owners here, we don't need, but you can also assign the members here. Okay, so let's say I am going to assign a member called same Karthik. Where is that? Okay, or let's say I'm going to assign it to, yeah, only Karthik. Okay, so I'm going to assign it, create. You can assign it like this also, or you can assign users to the group later also. So let's create one more group, security, right? So we don't need to assign anything here. I'm just going to click on create. So two groups, let me refresh, two groups should come here. Okay, so one group is assigned with one user, the other one is not assigned. So we have added the group here, right? Now let's go back to enterprise application, and you choose the application here, the second one. Go to users and groups. You see this, we have assigned this, and we can click on this user groups. You see this, those two groups that we added is coming. So I'm going to assign customer support group here. Okay, and I'm going to select this. Now this user is having this group, and if I just go back and select this user and go to groups, it will have admin group. Great. So I know sometimes it's a little confusing. So basically, while you're creating a group, you can add members, but logically in a company, in a real time perspective, when group is created, it is impossible to add, or generally they don't add users at that time, right? Because users are different companies have different developers, testers coming in and going, so that's not possible. So you should also know how to add later also. So we have two groups. You can come to enterprise application, select that application, go to groups, select the users and assign the groups. So we have done that. Now let's do one more thing. I'm gonna log out and see the groups are coming or not. I'm going to log in. Let's take Karthik. Okay, so I'm gonna sign in. Okay, we got the token, but let's see what happens, right? We have supposed to get the group. Let's see, let's open this. Okay, copy paste it. I don't see groups, I can see roles, but where is group? We added a group, we're supposed to come, right? Great. If it is not coming, you're good. We're gonna see how to make that group appear here. Okay, back to the portal, and this is the interesting part and important part. Go to Azure Active Directory. Select it, go to your application registration, app registration. Once you go to app registration, again choose the exact backend app that we were dealing with. Click on it. To the left side, there is something called token configuration. By default, for free tiers, security groups or groups are not exposed in claims. You need to click on this token configuration, click on add groups claim, and look at the security group that we were adding it. Okay, so we can actually add all of these things, but as long as you select security group is good. After that, here is the properties types like the ID, access token, and ID token. So here, if you look at this, group ID is there, right? So group ID will come. What is group ID? I'm gonna first add this. It's configured. Now let's first take a look at the demo. I'm gonna log out, log in back. Now we should get a token here. I'm going to click on token, access token. Let's go, copy, go here. Now paste. You see groups are coming. Great. Why groups are coming now? And what is this ID? Great. So this is the next limitation. So because for free tier, Azure don't expose the group name like customer support, admin group. The name, the user-friendly name that we gave for each group is not exposed. Instead, it is going to send us the group ID. So let's take a look at, how can I get the group name? See, the workaround for this is you can actually configure, for example, let's do that as well. So we are on application 2, right? So come to this API permission. What you do is click on add permission, go to Microsoft Graph. If you go to Microsoft Graph, go to delegated permission, there is something called group, search with group. You see this? You can select group.readAll and then add a permission. Click on grant admin permission. Yes. Now, if you follow one of my Graph API tutorial, it will tell you after this what code you need to use and set up the secret, and you can access the group name via such call like Microsoft Graph. You can use that. So you can pass the group ID, fetch the group name. You can do that. Okay, so that's the workaround. So application will still know what group we are dealing with. Because the token is having the group ID, we can actually find out what is the relevant group name for the given group ID. So that is something that we can do. That's the limitations. So configuring security groups in enterprise applications, limitations for the free tiers. So in Azure AD free tier, the group assignments are not available for the enterprise application. This means while you can still create security groups and assign users to them, you cannot directly assign these groups to the roles within the enterprise application. But don't worry, you can still read security group claims, which is the GUID, in the JWT token by configuring the group claims that we just did. How to do it, I showed you. So this is how you do. Let's quickly recap. We assume you already have a Azure AD setup done. We have the code in github.com for under my repository. We have the code in my account in github.com under the repository. You can take the code. We're gonna deal with working application, and further we saw in this video how to configure the roles and groups and all of this configuration in the Azure portal. There is not even one single piece of code change I did. It is all about portal configuration. So if you are slightly getting confused, which I also did, don't worry, just watch this video one more time. You will definitely get to know. And if you're stuck, if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. Reach out to me, I will definitely help you. Subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and share this with your friends and your circle. Let's grow this channel, and I will see you in more interesting Azure videos. Until then, signing off, Karthik. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tech tutorials. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Happy coding!